Right, welcome back. So what we have here is a Roland SH-1 from the classic Roland SH series from the 70s. This one is about 1977 or thereabouts. The way the numbering went, so the classic Roland series consists of the 1000, the 2000, the 1, the 2, the 3, the 5, and the 7 and the 09. But there's no sense at all in how the numbering went. Alex Ball did an excellent YouTube video on the history. This one came out, I think, so it was the first was the 1000, then came the 3 and the 3A, the 5, and then this came out in 1977 or thereabouts. Single oscillator monosynth. You got sawtooth, square, and pulse width, which is with modulation. You have modulation of the LFO. There's an auto bend feature, which they also had on the 2 and the 9, which is kind of a glidey kind of thing, but it's not quite a glide. And there's a portamento as well. There's the tuning, and all the controls are kind of standard, and they kind of became sort of what came later. The layout is very much like the SH-101 of the 80s. There's a sub oscillator with 1 octave down, 2 octave downs, or 2 octave downs but pulse. You got the audio mixer with VCO sub oscillator noise. The noise can be switched between white and pink, and there's the external signal source, which is an awesome thing to do. You can send your guitar pedals, or even just what I like to do is feed some of the signal from this back into itself for extra nulliness. There's the high pass filter, which is non-resonant. The low pass is 24 dB per octave with resonance. You've got the usual modulation for the filter with the polarity switch. Modulation, this one, the external signal follower it follows the amplitude envelope of your external signal. So it's the envelope follower that you can use. So you can feed something into the audio input here, and then you can modulate the filter by the envelope, by the loudness of your output signal, input signal. So 2 envelopes with different triggering modes. You can trigger the VCA from 1 or 2. 2 only has A&R, and 1 has the classic ADSR with different triggering modes. You got your bender here, which looks like stuff that came later. Tuning, and yeah, that's about it. I'll turn it off and unplug it, and we'll have a look inside. So yeah, you open it up and say, hey, where is everybody? Well, everything's up here. Okay. So the power supply is down there. It runs completely just on an analog voltage, plus or minus 15 volts. Same TA7179 dual 15 volt regulator. You'll notice there's no silk screening there's no marking on the silk screen anywhere. And I'll point out some of the interesting bits. We'll just have to get the camera to zoom. Right. The oscillator's here. Yeah, this is the oscillator here. This thing here is probably the most rarest part, and it's in lots of SH series. This is a UA726 dual transistor, which is the part of the exponential converter circuit. You've got the keyboard sources on the left hand side here, I believe. This would be the keyboard source to run the keyboard, some of the keyboard voltages. Also the LFO will be here. What else we got? Oh no, that's not the keyboard source voltage. Nope, that's over here. there's the keyboard part. This big giant cap here, that's the giveaway, that's the keyboard. So that holds the, so the keyboard source has to be here, and that big oversized cap is there to hold the keyboard voltage, and it's oversized because it's extremely stable. It's a 200 volt cap, right? It's some what is it, something like 0.03, it's like 33 nanofarad or something, but it's rated at 200 volt ceramic cap, so it'd be extremely stable, right? That's why it's there, to give you pitch stability. The oscillators over there. These two guys over here is the sub oscillator, and other various bits and pieces. Thank God for schematics online, otherwise you have a very hard time with this thing, because there's no silk screen, there's no nothing. They do give you some test points though. So these little pole things give you the test points. You can stick your probe on, stick your oscilloscope on, where you're supposed to do the calibration. The filter is 4 pole, 24 dB per octave, and it's based on an OTA, which is the classic CA3080. Look for the starring caps. That's 1 stage, that's 2 stages, that's 3 stages, that's 4, and the one over here is the VCA for the voltage controlled amplifier that comes out. From the markings that I can see, they codes the newest one I can find is from 77, and it kind of matches the serial number. The first number tends to be around the first year of production, so this one starts with 7, so it's about 1977 or thereabouts. Hard to say. It's been recapped by the previous owner, sorry, by the previous tech that had this. All the other issues that it had, which was things not working properly, is because of the sliders. The sliders on these and the other SH series are real bit of a pain in the ass to service. You have to open them up, and they're hard to open. They're hard to close properly to get the tension right and everything like that. It's a bit of an art form. I re-lubed them all externally, which did the job for most part. But there was the switch that was seized, which was the trigger switch for envelope 1. I had to basically pull apart, desolder this and pull it apart, and then change the ball bearing that was there. And that basically, because it was completely seized, there was a lot of cracked stuff going on down in the jacks here. That fixed up the intermittent audio. Everything else of the modulations and everything not working, everything being noisy, is just completely out of the sliders. Serviceability wise, if you're getting a vintage synth like this, the biggest worry with these are the sliders. Okay, the electrolytics have to be changed if they're the purple series, which there would have been on this one because it's from 77. But they don't leak as much as on other things that I've seen. So on the Roland monos, they don't really leak that much. That's just from experience. But just change them. Yeah, if you see the purple ones, just change them. So yeah, now everything is working. The one thing that I can't fix on this one is the high pass filter. The high pass filter has uses a pot, uses a slide. The track on this is a very strange track. So what I mean by that is that the resistive track, normally you have A taper or B taper, in other words linear or logarithmic. This is a D taper, which I had to look up what on earth that is. That is logarithmic, with a steeper curve, and you just simply can't find this. So unfortunately, the high pass filter only works once you get to the end here. The way they implemented it was very strange. I had not seen that before, but now pretty much everything else works. There's no crackles, there's no noise. They're fairly smooth, as smooth as I can get them. And yeah, all good. Thanks for that. Thanks for watching.